one thing that really kept me stuck from getting from the 0 to 10K a month mark US is that I had a system and then it worked from maybe 1 to 2.5K, but then it wouldn't get me to 5K or 10K. I had to change things over time. And I see a lot of other people make this mistake. So hopefully from what I've learned, it helps you. But basically so currently I've managed to hit 20K New Zealand dollars a month. So that might be 12, 13, 14 US, not entirely sure. But to get there, like the major unlock was from 0 to I'd say 2.5 was literally just getting good at the service. So currently I'm running a video editing agency. When I was starting, I wasn't that good. So the biggest unlock was going from 0 to 2.5 was actually getting good enough at something where people will pay you. And then once you're there, it's obviously a lot easier. And then the next thing after that is then building a bit of just looking for clients. So I did that via posting content and cold outreach, and doing both of them. At the time, didn't really have any money to invest into things. Now I'm doing ads because I've got a little bit more money to invest into getting clients. But at the time, it was cold outreach because it literally just cost me my time. As for content, and if you're in the same position, highly recommend. I just did Instagram DMs, and then it can completely change things. Like one connection can change it all. I think I've made over 100K just from one client from him, and then he led me into projects and they led me into projects and things like that. So, and that was all via one cold DM message. So it truly can change things. So yeah, it would be from getting good to then actually doing some sort of output to gain clients. And then once you're there, I found the next stage after that is like you've got a few clients. You're not making the best money because your prices are low. And then from there, you really, like, I've done it where I'm kind of just like gradually increasing prices and seeing where people are. A lot of, like, for the video editing industry, it's quite hard to find competitor prices just because they're so private about it. But with product businesses, it's pretty black and white. It's on their website, but things like that. So you need to, like, for the editing, I was just kind of chucking things out there, and then if people said yes, great. If people didn't, all good. And then you I'm still at a point where I'm not at the ceiling. So I'm still chucking prices out there. But then I find when you meet new people and different types of businesses where they've got different amounts of money, then that really unlocks things. Because like what I remember when I was first starting, and I thought $25 a video was really expensive. And then to one of the clients, that was very expensive, but he wasn't making that much money compared to clients now where you throw $150 for a short form video and they're like, yep, done, whatever. And then that's the thing. So it's hard to find the ceiling. So you kind of just have to chuck stuff out there, at least in my position. And then I would say after that, once you can get a bit of a margin for yourself, actually, tracking back, also within that 0 to 2.5K range, you need to invest in your services, into your service or product as well. So like for video editing, it's things like equipment. So a laptop was a big unlock. Things like hard drives, mouses, like that is, I would spend probably 2K on that mouse. Just saves me so much time. It's about $200. So things like that, investing in your equipment and your assets. So like for video editing, like stock footage websites where you can get royalty-free music and stock footage and things like that. So all of this increases the value of your service. So I would say that section gets you from 0 to 2.5. And then from 2.5 to 5, I would say it's the pricing. It's literally just, and still doing the outreach, is growing that, but a lot of it is in the pricing. Because I remember when I was first starting, at one point I had 7 active clients, and then I was making like 3K a month. So, but then now it's like you can have one client that pays all of that. So it really depends. But I would still say 2.5 to 5 is still the outreach and just high leverage activities that are going to grow the business, the needle movers, and then the pricing. And then from there, I would say I managed to get to, I think it was 10K a month. without hiring, but I think hiring is still very important. Like, I left it quite late. As long as you've got the margin there, I aim for about 70% margins, sometimes lower if just situation dependent. But for that, I'm aiming for 75% margins. And then if you can get that, great. Like, that's quite high. And then I remember when I hired my first person for a first editor, the amount of time I brought back, like, it took a bit of time to train them up, but once they're there, it's like you receive the footage, you send it off to them, make sure the quality is there, and then you send it off. And then the thing is, the client isn't even missing out because they're getting the same output or same deliverable at the same price, at the same quality, and you're saving time, and no one's got a problem with that. So it's a matter of buying back your time. And then I think from there, I haven't cracked the 15K a month US. Let me have a look what that is quick. I haven't cracked that, I don't think. So I'm not going to speak on that. So 25. So my highest month was 24 and a half. So I still won't talk on that, but currently now I'm focused on high leverage activities like meta ads, where essentially I want to be able to be at the point where I can buy clients rather than doing cold outreach solely or relying on referrals. So because it's predictable, if I can buy clients, great. I just need to spend X amount to get X, and then as long as I've got the back end systems to fulfill. So that's what I'm currently doing. I believe there's about 4 editors on the roster that are editing clients' videos for me. So, and then trying to figure that out. But yes, I think the main thing is just getting good, and then outreach keep consistent, because I plateaued and I stayed stuck. So, and I wondered why I wasn't growing, even though I wasn't doing anything to grow the business, which is retarded. So need to focus on that. And then now I'm kind of obviously getting back into it. But yeah, hopefully that helps someone. If I was in my position when I was starting at like 16 or 18, when I started this business, that would be beneficial. But a lot of it's just trial and error as well. Like, I mean, I'm still kind of learning stuff, or like a lot of the mistakes I make, usually I learn a lot from it, and that's what really bumps me up. But I think it's good to have your eyes widened as well, because I was thinking, like, is the video editing agency, is that actually a business? Can that be a business? Because I don't really see anyone online about it. But then I could be wrong, but I don't really see any leading figures where it's like, when you hear like sales, for example, you think about Grant Cardone, or if you think about, I don't know, the young entrepreneur personal branding scene, you think of Iman Gaji, or business, you think of Alex Hormozi. There's no one like that for video editing, or for at least the agency side of things. There's kind of people that are good at video editing, but a lot of them are behind the scenes. So my eyes were I thought the ceiling was quite low. And then only recently I did some proper research, and there's actually a fair few agencies where they've got physical offices, where they've got teams of like 40 to, I think one had like 70 editors, or a 70-person team. And that really opened my eyes. So ideally, want to have an office like that. But yeah, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because nowhere near these people that are rich and kind of the ideal person everyone must be with. Just kind of like yourself on a journey and figuring things out, and just hopefully some of that helps. But yeah, appreciate you watching, and have a good one.